Hey, hey. I was just thinking about today. I'm thinking about encouragement, you know, and yeah, and I'm just going to share my thoughts on what my thoughts are on encouragement. First, my name's Savage. You can call me Dave. I live out here in these sand dunes, and my mission's to turn them green. And in order to do that, you need animal poop. And that includes cats, which I got right there. Some Muscovies right here. Got some ducks around the corner. There's my little crippled Muscovy. Call her Gimpy Girl. She's beautiful. She lays some eggs once in a while, but she's achieved pet status. And of course down here, this is my brooder. So there's 10 hens in there. That I think I did have 12 birds in there. Two of them are roosters. They're in my belly now. But these 10 hens are great. So I got a we're sitting in some. We got a stretch of really windy days coming this week, so we got to deal with that. But yeah, then these 10 should be moving outside pretty soon. And that climbing the fence back there, a little sunshine. So I don't know. I guess the cats are awake. So yeah, I was thinking about encouragement. I just wanted to put my thoughts out there. I think encouragement's one of those things like uh, customer service, right? When I was doing some college, I tried to take the customer service class just because I was like, what in the world would you teach in customer service? What do you have to teach somebody on how to do customer service? I mean, everybody's a customer. Like nobody should know how to treat a customer better than a customer. So I'm kind of baffled by that. And I kind of feel the same way about encouragement, right? Just because encouragement's so cheap, it's so easy, it's free, right? Everybody's got the gift of it. Everybody can do it. We know we've all encouraged people before. A lot of times I just feel like people just dismiss it. They don't consider it. Our pride gets in the way. We'll attack things when we have these opportunities to give somebody that encouragement. You always hear the stories about kids who had plans to do terrible things to themselves or whatever, and somebody stops and encourages them and changes their life from that way forward. It's such a it's such an easy thing to do, and we can't do it normally. Like I say, it's because of pride. I think anytime there's something good missing, you kind of look for the pride in the situation. You'll find it, and that'll kind of explain it. But yeah, that was kind of just just my thoughts on that. um, I kind of hope somebody hears that and thinks about it and says, I wonder if I could just encourage somebody today, because it's pretty easy. I'm not much of a kumbaya guy, but I do like it when people are pulling together to go in the same direction. Everybody likes encouragement. Everybody loves encouragement. Everybody wants to be encouraged. It seems like it would make it a pretty easy thing to just encourage somebody, right? For whatever reason. It could be something small, could be something big, could be something deep, could be something shallow. I don't know. Just encourage. Just encouragement. You can do this. You got this. That kind of thing. Sometimes I think people just crave that so much. In fact, you see it on social media all the time, where I get the feeling people are baiting that, right? They're putting it out there like bait, like wanting that encouragement. They're hungry for it. I think it's so free to give. I just don't understand why we don't do it just readily, just right away. How about you guys? I encourage you all the time. I'm like, you ladies are rock stars. You could lend me some eggs, right? I'm gonna thank you for them eggs. What are you looking at? Huh? You pretty girl, huh? All you guys probably got some eggs in there for me now. So anyhow, that's my thought. That's a quick thing. um, the wind is rough. I had to get back up on those roofs that we put on that new duck house yesterday. I just had a few places left to secure with screws. And other than that, I'm kind of normal chores for a few days, right? And in Wyoming, it doesn't seem like the snow, the rain, things like that don't determine your workload, but wind definitely determines the workload. Wind has a big impact on it here. If you know anything about Wyoming, if you don't, just Google Wyoming truck turnovers or something like that, and you'll see what happened last week out here. I think they had a whole bunch of semis up and down a couple of our interstates that were turned over. The wind just kind of picks things up and puts them down where it wants to, So typically if they tell us we're going to have 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts, you can typically bet we're going to get 70 to 80 mile an hour gusts, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be happening tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a rough day. Right? It would be like Dorothy on the Wizard of Oz. This wind will be trying to pick me up and carry me away. So I definitely am not letting the birds out to free range tomorrow. No, no, no. They don't need that. Plus, it's a sand dune. There's minimal stuff. It's winter, so I do let them out, but there's just not a lot to forage out here in the winter right now. That's why, as part of turning this all green, that should change a little bit when you change the sand to actual soil, get some more bug life and stuff in there. Birds are going to love it, and I can tell because they've decimated my garden beds, which were all pretty successful this year. We grew a lot of vegetables, man. We were eating vegetables for months and months and months out of our own garden every day. It was brilliant. It was beautiful cooking with them, everything. Um, so those garden beds, they're ahead of the curve, and we just keep adding more beds and things like that. And I call everything where I'm growing something a bed. Like one where the sunflowers and zucchini and stuff grew. I don't even know if we could see it from in here. There's some snow fence blowing around that plastic garden fence back there. Yeah, we just called that the mound, and really we had a mound of sand there. We just flattened it, covered the entire top of it with compost. I was shooting for a foot, but it's hard on a slope like that to know how much you got. And we had really good results out there. But one thing about it is here in the summer, with the sand and the quick drainage and the low humidity, I have to water every day. It's the only question out here in the summer is, do I have to water twice in a day sometimes, because it can get baking hot, and the sand doesn't help that. It just drains. Um, that said, though, I did notice differences in a couple of beds where I just had the right depth and stuff, I think, and I was able to water like every other day. If it rained, I could probably skip 2 days and then water again, and everything be just fine. But I didn't have any overwatering situations. Thank God for that. But we do want to get that soil developed so that it's holding more moisture under there. Probably going to even try some. What do they call it? I don't know, trench gardening kind of, where I just bury, big rows of straw and then garden on top of it. I might try that next year, just see if I could retain just a little more moisture under there. The compost does a great job. Like I have a bed, my tomato bed, that compost was 2 feet deep, at least 2 feet deep, and that's the one where I was able to take breaks in the watering, and it would hold the moisture really good. So it just seems to be, even the potato bed was that way, and that was about a foot deep. So I pretty pleased with the results this year. So we're really looking forward to the spring and doing that. Um, Plus raising and processing meat birds this year is going to happen. We also intend to raise our own turkeys next year. Have our own turkey for Thanksgiving. That's kind of a major goal for me and the boss, my son. And yeah, so we're looking to do that. We probably raise up more turkey than we need, so we can get some to somebody else or sell some or something. Plus, have a little cushion just in case. I've never raised turkeys before, so we'll see what happens, right? And then, of course, the rabbits. We're still waiting for the fur pulling. We're on about day 29, so I don't think we're late. But I do got the nesting boxes in there. I got the nesting boxes in. We got them built. I got them put in. So fingers are crossed that we get some bunnies coming through. We have people lined up that are looking for pets, and then of course we're looking to load the fridge with meat. Um, yeah, because we are definitely out of animals to butcher for the year. But it's going to be a big year for that next year, particularly processing. We're tentatively planning on processing birds 3, maybe 4 times this next summer, just to generate something for the place so that we can afford to expand some certain things. And just starting by filling our freezer, and everything on top of that's just a blessing, man. And what am I gonna do? End up with too much chicken? I love chicken. So yeah, these ladies, these Muscovies, I get eggs out of them. We had a bad ratio problem on them. We had when I ordered 7, and we ended up with 4 females and 3 males. I'm sorry, I ordered 6, and Gimpy was actually an extra bird, so they put an extra bird in there, which was beautiful. And we nursed her along. She does good. She gets around. She's just a little hobbled, and she's in her own area because the other birds tend to be really cruel to her. So we don't allow them to get to her, but she does get to live just right across the chicken wire from them. She's got her own outside area and her own door, and then she comes on in at night, and I close her in from the outside, because that one right there, Apple, who, now that there's no men around, she ain't trying to sit eggs. She's being really cool. They're really cool. You can see Boo over here. All right, just a beauty, right? They're just beautiful birds. They're big birds. I know people down south, they might look at them as a menace, um, because they're an invasive species there or whatever. Um, so our goal was to try to get them to sit eggs and hatch. And actually, just late in the year here, after we had processed our last male, um, she did. They did get 1 egg to hatch. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it or whatever. Or it got trampled. It was in here. I found it in here. But we were really, really relieved to see that they could, in fact, get them hatched. I don't think this house is particularly built well for that, right? I think ducks want a little more enclosed space. And you can see this. I got high ceiling in here and stuff like that. I do got a solar setup in the corner back there, though I got to get a new microcontroller on it. But yeah, this is essentially our brooder. So the duck house we're building is going to get these ducks, who are gonna freak out. There you go. The khaki Campbells. They're moving up there. Um, there's gonna be a separate house eventually for the Muscovies, but we want to be able to round their numbers off next year. Probably set the goal at about 7 females, 1 male for them next year, so that we can get back to trying to hatch them, because they are excellent meat. The breast on these guys is it's most comparable to roast beef. I didn't believe that when I read it before, but it's absolutely true. Just absolutely wonderful meat. Super lean, and of course duck fat. If I could cook in nothing but duck fat, I would, because it's delicious, right? So yeah, that's the plan. That's the expansion, and then I got 2 more chicken coops going. One of them's for these 10. And another one's just for expansion, so we have room to round those numbers out, because to keep egg numbers up with customer demand, I need to be able to rotate a certain amount of flock every year, right? And so if we get these 2 more coops done and get the rest of that yard put in, I believe I'll be able to rotate 25% of the flock every year, to keep the numbers up a little higher. And then we might take a year off of trying to do that after we get there, just because we have to expand rabbits, we have to expand the ducks, things like that. So we're just going to take our time, and then come back to that and get more breed specific with the chickens. And then by the time we do that, we'll actually probably be able to get more genetically precise with the rabbits too, because we definitely want to do that. We're not too concerned right now, because everything we make is not going to go back into breeding stock right now. It's going to be meat or pets for people. So yeah, we're having a good time with it. There's my friend Smokey. What's up, Smokey? What's up, baby? I shouldn't give you a bare hand, huh? I shouldn't give you a bare hand, baby. What you doing? Yeah, they come up here and attack my head on that netting when I'm in here feeding and stuff. So Yeah, anyhow, that is how things are going on here. Just a little, I was thinking about encouragement. I decided to speak on that. And then, of course, whatever's going on around me when I'm doing that, I'll always add something there because it's kind of my life. It's what I do, and I love it. So, uh, thank you. If you watch this far, if you got any questions or comments or anything, put them down below. Tell me the things you see that are wrong. I will get into more details on some of the animals and the enclosures and things like that. It's an interesting thing. I gather information. I try to do a lot of research before I do things here, but I have realized that uh, climate really um, has way more to do with certain aspects of raising certain animals than you might be led to believe when you're watching some YouTube videos and stuff like that, right? Somebody that's in Florida going, "Yeah, this is easy. I just do this and this." That's probably not going to work here, right? Somebody growing tomatoes in Florida, for instance, probably doesn't have a lot to offer me growing tomatoes in Wyoming. Now, there's some people in Colorado. There's some similarities, say, between Michigan and here, right? I watched videos from the Rabbitry Center, a guy named Bobby, right? We have a lot more similarities in climate, right? The one thing though here is the wind. So when I build things here, I just build them in that jarhead mindset, right? There is no wind that's going to move this. So anyhow, I'm rambling on, but I appreciate you. I love you. Jesus loves you. Comment, like, do all the things if you feel like doing them. Looking for dialogue if I could get some. Peace.